Congratulations on your engagement. After you got engaged, now you're probably looking at when should you get married. You're probably getting a ton of questions from family members like, when's the wedding date? And you're trying to figure out when should you even get married. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about wedding season and then also different types of seasons in the year and what the pros and cons to that are. Before we dive into things, welcome if you are new here. My name is Jess and I'm the lead planner at Not Just a Planner. I've had the pleasure of working alongside many professionals in this industry, including David Totera, to name a few. Now, if you are looking for any types of advice on wedding planning, please consider subscribing as I'll be sure to pour you out so much content on how you can plan your wedding the right way. If you have a special date in mind, hold that thought. There are many numbers that couples have together, like this is such a date that he asked me to be his boyfriend, or this and such date is memorable to us because of yada yada yada. Like, everyone has different types of love stories. Of course, everyone is different, but don't get so caught up on a specific date because it makes it a lot harder to find a venue and vendors that are available, especially if you have a weekday wedding. Now, if you want to have a weekday wedding, that's totally fine and up to you, and I actually did a video on that, so you can go ahead and click here if you want to know more information on a weekday wedding. But I'm talking about, not exactly having a specific date in mind for your wedding just yet. The reason for that is because you want to pick at least the season of knowing the pros and cons to that. If you are planning to have your wedding sometime post-COVID, then definitely stick around because this video is for you, especially if you're trying to consider if you should have a fall versus a summer wedding. Let's get started with summer weddings. Now, this is a very popular time for a lot of people to get married, and it is because of the weather. Usually it's really gorgeous and you can take amazing photos without having to worry about the rain. But a downfall to that is that it's pretty hot, especially if you live where I live in California. If you're anywhere other part of the world, I'm not sure what the temperature is, but usually in the summertime it's pretty hot. And for that, if you have an outdoor wedding, you want to make sure that you have the ceremony happening more towards the golden hour and not like in the afternoon, because heat will dawn on your guest and you would probably even feel really sweaty too, and you don't want anyone to have a heat stroke. Now, if your heart is set on wanting to get married in the summer, a pro is that there are many flowers blooming and it's gorgeous. So you'll be able to take really, really good photos with amazing floral. But it's also busy, like I said, that it is wedding season. So make sure that if you are wanting to get married in the summer, that a lot of couples book out really, really far in advance to have those summer dates. So make sure that you're thinking ahead and having those in mind. And because vendors and venues actually get booked out so far in advance, their prices are actually higher during wedding season. So keep that in mind. Of all those things, of course, the summer weddings are an amazing time to get married, but there are a few setbacks to that. Fall weddings. Can you see that was my impression of leaves? Anyways. For fall weddings, it is a very popular time for people to get married because it's not too hot, not too cold most of the time, and you really don't have to worry about it being too hot and then also freezing, as opposed to like a winter wedding. But kind of like summer, as I said, since it is a popular time, vendors and venues still get booked out in advance, so you have to make sure that you book them out a year or even more in advance if you're getting married in those months. Winter weddings! Who doesn't love the winter season? I mean, people are like, oh my gosh, it's Halloween, then it's Thanksgiving, then it's Christmas. I don't know. I have a lot of friends like that. But anyways, if you are all about winter weddings, that is actually a pro for you, because since not many people are getting married in the winter, more dates will be available during that season. And on top of that, venues and vendors might have a lower rate. Now, if it's close to like a holiday, like Christmas, then understand that your guest might have pre-arranged plans, such as traveling or, taking like a type of vacation because they're off work or something. Have that in consideration, that they might not be able to attend your wedding, or they might feel like if you didn't tell them sooner enough, then they couldn't have made those plans a long time ago. Now, if the weather conditions are really pretty much like winter, where it's snowing, it's freezing, know that your guest might leave earlier. Flowers might not be in bloom. It's very limited because flowers are getting ready for spring. So there might not be much of a selection as far as your bridal bouquet or the flowers that you have at your wedding. And another one would be, you know, if it's really snowing, then that's going to be harder for, you know, vendors and your guests and everybody to like come in, especially if like you're getting married in like Lake Tahoe, for instance. And then there's spring. Probably my most favorite season of the year is spring. What's your favorite season? Actually, let me know in the comments below. In spring is probably one of the best times to have a garden wedding because flowers are in full bloom. The only downfall to like having a spring wedding is that there are some months in spring that rain, like April showers, for instance, bring May flowers, right? And then also there's a time change, especially here on the West Coast. We have a time change, and that alters when the sun is going to set. And so you kind of want to be prepared for that, especially around your timeline. Spring is like the middle of it being slow and then it kind of picking up and being busy in a wedding season. So prices actually vary because certain venues or vendors have, you know, their definition of when wedding season will start for them. So prices will be different again, and you know, the availability will also be different. So as I've said throughout this whole video, is you definitely want to contact a venue first and foremost to see what possible dates are available, and especially the season that you favor the most. And then also if you have a top venue or vendor that you really want to work with, then you have to definitely contact them as priority as well. Now, to close this off as a pro tip, try to avoid holidays when you're getting married, because especially if you're having fresh floral at your wedding, flowers cost more. If you're having a wedding closer to Valentine's Day, good luck trying to find red roses. I'm just saying, I've done that from past experiences. But that's a pro tip that I have for you, and I feel like not many people actually know that. Now, I've given you the pros and I've given you the cons from each season, and ultimately, whichever date and season you decide is your wedding. You get to do whatever you want. You make those choices. It's definitely not up to me or your family members. It really shouldn't be. It should be all about you guys and celebrating your love together. So definitely do some research as far as your vendors, venue that you'd like, and then also consider the pros and cons. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And I really enjoy, you know, making these videos and sharing with you guys some tips and tricks, especially if you don't have a wedding planner. If you loved it, like, please be a part of the YouTube family. I would love to welcome you and to understand what more videos you guys would like me to make and answer some questions that you might have, because it can kind of get lonely in, you know, planning your wedding, and it really shouldn't be. So make sure to subscribe. I will see you guys at the next video. And then also, if you know a friend who is engaged, please send this to him and her. I'm pretty sure they'll enjoy it. See you guys there. Bye.